Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, my name is Nur Fatihah binti Muhammad Shamil, and in this video I'm going to explain about volumetric analysis and titration. I will start first with introduction of volumetric analysis. So, what is volumetric analysis? Volumetric analysis is a quantitative analytical method which is used widely. This method involves measurement of the volume of a solution whose concentration is known. This method also applies to determine the concentration of the analyte. Besides that, volumetric analysis is used to measure volume of a reagent needed to react with an analyte. There are three types of volumetric analysis, which are simple titration, back titration, and double titration. Next, concept of volumetric analysis. Firstly, the reactants will react with the standard solution from urate of a known concentration called titrant. Secondly, the analyte in which the concentration to be determined is placed in a conical flask. Lastly, the appropriate indicator will add into the conical flask to determine the endpoint by looking at color changing of the indicator. Here are some basic components of volumetric analysis. We have pipette, burette, volumetric flask, conical flask, and measuring cylinder. Now, let's move on to introduction of titration. What is titration? Titration is the slow addition of one solution of a known concentration called a titrant to a known volume of another solution of unknown concentration until the reaction reaches neutralization, which is often indicated by a color change. As you can see on the slide, there are a few requirements when doing a titration. There should be no side reaction. The endpoint must be equal to the equivalent point. Reaction should be quantitative and stoichiometric. Last but not least, there should be an obvious change in solution properties when the reaction has completed.
Hi, my name is Farah Afrina and I am going to present about uses of volumetric analysis. First and foremost, researchers or chemists employ volumetric analysis in its most basic form. Students in chemistry lab at colleges and secondary school, for example, also use and become involved in this analysis method. In addition to this, there are extensively used in numerous global sectors. Thus, this study becomes crucial for many industries when developing a new product or innovation. So, how is volumetric analysis used in the industry? This analysis procedure is used by numerous companies all over the world to create or innovate products. They are heavily utilized not just in the manufacturing sectors, but also in the food sectors. For example, the wine business actually employs this method to determine how sulfur dioxide regulates microbiome growth. So, this is the list of the example of industry where volumetric analysis is used. The first one is wine industry, second one is food industry, followed by cosmetic industry, pharmaceutical industry, also biodiesel manufacturing, and lastly acid rain analysis.
Titration in industry is a very large sector, so we're gonna present to you two example applications titration in industry. First is pharmaceutical industry. Yes, when I say pharmaceutical, you must be thinking about pharmacy and medication. Various industrial titration procedures are used in this industry. This type of titration include purity analysis, content analysis, precipitation, and pH stat. First is purity analysis. Purity analysis is active ingredient to evaluate the level of active ingredients in pharmaceuticals. For example, purity control of the drug euphorin found in some cough syrups. An acid called perchloric is used as the titrant in this reaction. Second, content analysis by redox titration. When I said redox titration, many students use this titration in their lab manual. Content analysis is used in this industry to establish the purity of raw materials, including binding substances in oral medication, rather than the end product itself. Third is precipitation titration to precipitate with an appropriate titrant to generate consumable medication due to their structure. 2. Formation of solid product like antifungal drug, clorimazole. And lastly, pH titration, which is to determine the acidity of drugs and check the purity of enzyme made and investigated the speed and characteristic of relevant chemical reaction.
Next, we're going to talk about volumetric analysis used in food industry, specifically in titration. What titration is used in the food industry? There are 6 types of titration that are used in the food industry, which is a redox titration, acid-base titration, precipitation titration, compensatory titration, fusion titration, and isothermal titration calorimetry. First titration is acid-base titration. It is based on the neutralization of the aniline and the titrant. The endpoint is determined using a pH indicator and usually used to determine the acidity of a fruit juice. Next, we have redox titration. It is a reaction between a reducing agent and an oxidizing agent. It allows food manufacturers to determine the quantity of a reactant in a sample. It can be used to discover the amount of salt or sugar in the product or concentration of vitamin C or D, which has an effect in the product's color. Next, we have precipitation titration. Precipitation titration is where solids precipitate, forms, and do not dissolve in water. Used to determining salt content in different food products. Next, we have complexothermic titration. Involve an indicator dye which changes color when it reacts with certain metal ion. The dye is used to pinpoint the exact moment when all metal ions are irreversibly bound to a ligand. Next, we have Fischer titration. It is used to control the texture or crunchiness of food by determining trace of water content in food, which is vital to ensure foods to have the correct textures. And lastly, we have isothermal titration calorimetry. It's used in the food industry to study the binding of small and large molecules and measure the molecular interaction in food.
For conclusion, we now understand that the chemical world is both fascinating and perplexing. It is necessary to test, investigate, and assess its results. This is one of the many different types of analytical procedures used in the chemical industry. In addition, we discovered that chemical analysis could only be carried out in a laboratory with the right tools. Volumetric analysis is widely employed in a variety of industries, including the production of wine, food, cosmetics, and pharmaceuticals, to estimate the amount of an unknown component that is present. Lastly, we may now conclude that volumetric analysis and titration are one of the important methods in the world, as it helps to create an innovative products to bring ease in our daily life. So that's all from us. Thank you.